gas up the Jeep, it's good to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. The highway is long, the wheels turning round. Pack up the cook stove and the bowls. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I are on the road.
Hey everybody, I'm back in the kitchen again today, and today I thought I would make a duck egg and mushroom omelet. It sounds good already. I was in a little place called the Fossil Creek Farms. They have like a little food stand down in Strawberry, Arizona, and I bought some really nice duck eggs. I saw them there and I got excited. I said, oh man, I need to make something with those. So what I have here are 6 really pretty duck eggs. And if you've never had duck eggs, they're just really a lot like chicken eggs, just a little bit richer in flavor, but basically the same thing. But I say definitely a little richer, a little bit more flavorful. I also was out in the woods the other day, and we had a little bit of a rain, actually the first one of the season here. It is the beginning of July, and you know, it's been really, really dry, and we had a nice little rain that lasted for 2 days. So we were out in the woods, and I came across these really nice Sawgill mushrooms. These are one of the first mushrooms to come up right after the rains when we started the beginning of the season here. So the Sawgill mushroom kind of looks like this. On top, sort of has like these sort of like feathery sort of looking scales on the top of it, and then underneath, how it gets its name is it has these sort of like saw-like gills under here. You can see, if you look at them closely, you can see they have sort of like the serrations on here, like it would be on a saw. I found these a couple of days ago on a dead ponderosa pine log, which is a very common place to find them because they are associated with the ponderosa pine. Actually, their scientific name is Neolentinus ponderosus. But anyway, this is an edible mushroom. I'm super excited to find it. It's my first mushrooms of the season. It is an edible mushroom, although it can tend to be a little bit tough and chewy, kind of similar to, say, like a shiitake mushroom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this up nice and thin, and then we're going to saute them in butter, and then we're going to add that to our omelet. So that's the next step. Okay, so I've gathered a few ingredients for our omelet. Of course, I have our duck eggs, I have our Sawgill mushrooms, a little bit of shallot, some salt and pepper, and some butter. And then I also have some of this nice Red Hawk washed rind cheese. I did do a video on this. If you like stinky cheeses, check that out. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of prepare our mushrooms. I'm just going to discard the stem completely because that can be even tougher. And then I'm going to slice this mushroom relatively thinly because, like I said, it can have a tendency to be a little bit tough. There's some discoloration on this one, maybe from a bug, so I'm going to just get rid of that little bit right there. And then the rest of this we'll use for our omelet. Let's see, I'll put that aside. And then I'm going to take a couple of these duck eggs. Go. And duck eggs tend to have a little bit, well, larger yolk, of course. You can see that. But they also have a little bit of a thicker shell, so they're a little bit harder to crack. That. Let's see, I'm going to do maybe 3 eggs for our omelet. There we go. Look at that. Looks great. I like to mix my duck eggs really well. They do have like sort of a heavier consistency to them, so I like to beat them really well. Okay, and then to that I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'll just get started. All right, and we'll take all this over to the stove. All right, we're over at the stove. I have some butter starting to melt in our pan. And I'm going to add, actually, I'm going to start with our shallots. We just want to let those just soften up just a little bit. Start to become a little bit translucent. And then I'm going to add our Sawgill mushrooms. And then we'll just let these saute here nicely. A little bit of salt and pepper. That. These mushrooms have that beautiful white color to them. But we just want to just kind of gently saute these until they get tender and cooked all the way through. You always want to make sure that you cook your wild mushrooms. Okay, those look and smell amazing. To this, I'm going to add our duck eggs. You want to kind of get in here and work this around a little. Okay. Okay, I like my omelet to be a little bit wet in the center, so I'm going to leave it like this, but I'm going to, actually, I'm going to take our Red Hawk cheese, and I'm going to put some nice slices of that in there, and then we're going to start to fold this over, just like this. We'll bring this to the plate. Okay. Look at this. There we go. That. All right, so there it is. This is our duck egg and Sawgill mushroom omelet. Now I would call this a kind of a rustic country omelet. I did brown it a little bit, and it is a little bit coarser than say like a French omelet. But I'm going to top this with a little bit of parsley for color, and look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? I can't wait to get in there and try that. Okay, there it is. Our beautiful omelet. All right, let's try it out. Get part with that. Look at that cheese in there. Yeah. Okay, got a little bit of cheese. I got a little bit of the mushroom. Let's try this out. Wow, that's so good. That cheese is nice and melted and ooey gooey on the inside, and those mushrooms are nice and tender. And we sauteed them. Let's see. There, you can see those nice mushrooms, a little bit of cheese on there. Wow. That is so decadent. Those duck eggs have a little bit firmer texture, a little bit richer in flavor, like I said. And the mushrooms are very mild mushroom. And the texture is really nice once you saute them. Like I said, they have a tendency to be a little bit tough, especially if they're older. These were right up, right after the rain, so they're very young, very tender once I cooked them. And that Red Hawk cheese that I put in there, that stinky washed rind cheese, oh man, what a flavor. Perfectly complements all of this. That's great. With my freshly foraged Sawgill mushrooms and my freshly purchased duck eggs, which I bought at the Fossil Creek Farms down in Strawberry, Arizona. If you're down in that area or up in that area, please go check them out. They've got some great food, a nice little stand along the road in the trees, really beautiful. Anyway, and I talked to the woman who actually raised the ducks for this, and she said they were right out of the duck, so I know that they're really fresh. So now this is kind of a little surprise breakfast because I really wasn't expecting to come across any mushrooms yet in the season, and I was super happy to find these Sawgill mushrooms. And I was also kind of surprised and happy to find these duck eggs. So it kind of all came together really nicely into this beautiful breakfast. Anyway, super amazing and delicious. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe. That always helps us a lot. And we will see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye. Oh, and if you like these mushroom videos, check out my mushroom playlist on my main page. You'll see I've got a whole bunch of videos on harvesting, foraging, and cooking wild mushrooms. So check it out. All right, we'll see you next time.